Hello and welcome to Robinson Hall Experts Talk. My name is Laura Saunders, Marketing and PR Manager, and today on the 6th of February I have David Watling with me and we're here to discuss the commercial property market. David Watling is Head of Commercial. He has been involved in all aspects of commercial property for over 30 years, working in Bedfordshire, Northamptonshire and Cambridgeshire. Welcome, David.
Good morning, Laura.
So, first things first, how is the commercial property market?
Well, thankfully, there are encouraging signs after what I would only describe as a quiet 2024. 2024, just to recap, started off reasonably well, and then we had the announcement of the election, and then we thought that once the election outcome was known that we would move on at a pace. But because of the budget issues that came about shortly after Labour got into power, people tended to sit on their hands. But people, thankfully, are now not sitting on their hands, and we are seeing signs of movement in the market. Hopefully, that will continue throughout 2025.
That's good to hear. And are you finding a particular type of property is selling or letting well than others?
I would say that all sectors are showing signs of improvement, but the one sector where I'm seeing more activity, which is good news because in the last 2 or 3 years it's been in the doldrums, is the office sector. The uptake in offices nationally in the second half of 2024 was the best it's been for the last 5 or 6 years. But there is still a lot of under-occupation of office space, whereby hybrid working is now becoming more the norm, and there are a lot of companies who've got decisions to make as to what they do with their office space going forward. But the trend is that more and more people are coming back to work in the office. As an example, pre-COVID, the statistics suggest that in terms of offices that were leased or owned by companies, that they had about a 60 to 80% occupancy rate at any one time. We are now, believe it or not, this has increased, running at about 35 to 40% occupancy.
Okay. And is it a particular type of office space that you are seeing is more popular than others? Like, for example, somewhere rural or high street offices? Is there a trend in regards to what type of office people are looking for?
Not particularly. I would say that good quality is perhaps of more importance than anything else.
Okay.
The high street space tends to be dated. It can be above retail units. Parking ratios can be poor, and the energy performance of that building may not be as good as a more modern insulated building, for example. But good quality is the order of the day.
Right. Okay, that's key, obviously, when you're considering putting your property on the market. Are there any changes on the horizon worth mentioning for anyone that is considering selling or letting their property?
In terms of the commercial world, I don't think there's an awful lot that's emerged of late. There continues to be talk about investigation into the way business rates are assessed for commercial properties. But I think every government, for as long as I've been working, have been saying they're going to review business rates. But Labour are talking about it, so we'll see. But business rates are certainly an issue in terms of letting commercial property, and have been for many a year now. What I would say is, in terms of the UK specifically, we have now got political stability, more so than we've had for some years. And I think we've got potentially more political stability than some of our nearest European neighbours. And it's interesting to see what's happening in the United States following Donald Trump's re-election as president, with talks of tariffs being imposed in the EU and possibly within the UK. And it'll be interesting to see how that pans out over the coming months.
So what about you personally? Do you have any future predictions for the market?
I think we're going to see a continuation, certainly in the retail sector, of niche retailing on our high street. I think the larger retailers will certainly centre on regional outlets and will concentrate more and more on their online presence.
So niche, as in kind of like small businesses?
Yes, small startups, businesses that perhaps may have started from home online, but now they want a retail presence.
And what about the kind of rural world of commercial? So if people have barns for storage, or they have industrial units, because you obviously talked very heavily about kind of office. If we kind of look at that aspect of commercial, what are your predictions there? Is the market still booming? Because I know that over the last couple of years, it's kind of been key, really, and a lot of people have been looking at units like that. Is that still the case?
Yeah, I would say, so I haven't mentioned it because it's the retail and office sectors that have been the ones that have been underperforming in many things. The industrial and warehousing sectors have performed very well for the last 7 or 8 years and continue so to do. Although I think rents and capital values perhaps have plateaued a little of late, but rents and capital values have increased significantly over recent years. But no, former agricultural buildings, still great demand, and we are letting them regularly. You need to investigate whether you need planning permission. We have a number of clients that let them without, but it was also you should investigate whether you need change of use and ascertain what upgrading works you may want to carry out to that particular property. If it's just basic storage, it may not need very much at all, but if you're going to let it as offices, there'll be a major refurbishment and you need to ascertain what those costs might be, allied to the return that property might give you when you've completed the works.
So we've touched on quite a lot of advice already about what sellers or landlords should consider before putting their property on the market. Is there any other advice that you would suggest that you haven't mentioned already?
I would suggest the key is to take advice at the early stage when you first consider the property may be surplus to your requirements in your agricultural business, and come and talk to us. One thing I haven't mentioned, if you're going to let a property, legal requirement now is you need an energy performance certificate. That's if it has space heating within it. So in addition to investigations into terms of planning, change of use, refurbishment costs, you would also need to consider obtaining an energy performance certificate prior to letting a property or selling a property.
Okay, and I guess if you do need planning as well, that can take some time. So, like David said, as soon as you are considering, or even if it's just a thought, but you're not sure whether you've got the right property, get us out and we will be able to tell you what options are available to you. So when it comes to someone choosing an agent, obviously Robinson Hall are here and we've got lots of in-house departments, so we can help you with planning, we can help you with all sorts of services. But what are your top tips for those when it comes to choosing an agent?
I think knowledge is king, for want of a better phrase. You would want an agent that has experience within the geographical area that you are in, and also who have experience in letting and selling those particular types of properties.
So have a look at the stock, I guess, that other agents have on their listings, and reach out to maybe a couple, but obviously we are here if you require our services. So I have chosen an agent. I'm looking to either sell or let my commercial unit. Talk me through the process. Obviously I know that there's a process of what's best, what's not. Is this an option? And David, you're there to kind of offer your expertise. But once we've agreed that we're definitely going to be selling or letting the unit, whether it's an office space or a storage barn, what happens next?
Yeah, obviously, hopefully we've been in touch with you. We've been discussing whether you need planning and EPCs and upgrading works or whatever. But the point that you are ready to put the property onto the market for letting or for sale, we would carry out a thorough inspection of the property with a view to preparing sales particulars, issuing you with a client care letter. The draft particulars would be sent to yourselves for approval, and once we have reached agreement as to the asking rent, asking price, and particulars are approved, we would place the property for sale or to let on the various channels such as Rightmove, our own website, and other online portals. We will also hold a significant list of parties who are looking to buy or sell properties, and we would issue our particulars to those individuals to see if they are interested. Following which we would undertake accompanied viewings with a view to getting to a stage where heads of terms were agreed between the party, and then we would oversee the matter in line with your solicitors through to completion.
And then if you wanted us to manage the property, if it was rental, then obviously we have that service as well, so we can take the stress away from being a full-time landlord.
Indeed, we carry out a full management service that can include collecting the rent, undertaking the minor repairs, and carrying out regular reviews. But we also can tailor our service whereby perhaps we don't collect the rent, but we do everything else for you.
So it can be tailored to suit the individual.
Indeed.
The market appears to be in the right place, so if you are considering selling or letting your property, then obviously do contact us. David has many years of experience, as I said at the start, and yeah, we're here for you if you need us. So the best way to contact David, if you do want to speak to him or invite him out to have a site inspection, would be by going onto the Meet the Team page on our website and searching for David Watling, and his contact details and email address will be there. So please get in touch if you do require our services. Thank you for listening to our podcast today. I am launching a series of podcasts in the future. I've launched quite a few already, so please check out our podcast page on our website. They're also available on Apple, Spotify and the other podcast channels. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. Many thanks. Goodbye. Podcasts are for informational purposes only and should not be considered as legal advice. We are not responsible for any losses, damages or liabilities that may arise. The advice and views are from the expert only.